Again, I'll be the first to sing his praises, Tint, and we're going to find out right now if they can do it again. 95X on that blue side. Global Elite will be in orange, but like I'm believing in Lunar this time around. I'm singing him praises, Tint. I'm singing the praises.
Well, you did go for him. You did predict him, so I'll give you that one. But 95X, they're wanting to break back into that top 4 where they've been so comfortable before. And Global Elite, this is the upset. They looked so good when we saw them previously on stream. Now getting perhaps their first real challenge here in this tournament.
Yeah, this is going to be a different beast for them, certainly. For a team like 95X, you know, 2 top 4s back in winter. When they play their best, they are one of the most mechanically gifted teams we have. And this is the kind of setups that you can see from them. Lunar was underneath too, though. Patient defense will push it out.
And this mech is what you're going to see from a team like 95X. They like to be fancy with it. Sometimes can be to their own demise, though. You talk about Luna being that player. For me, it's Laxton. Laxton can be that player that chooses to overcomplicate things and really go for those plays that put himself out of position. So Laxton going to be that player for me.
Yeah, I mean, again, with Laxton, it always feels like at some moment he's going to make a big play, make you say, wow, kind of jump up, get that highlight reel off. But been wanting to see more of that consistency, so it's more than one, so there's multiple, like really dominate and take a game over. And that was something which I felt like was lacking at times in the winter split. It really did kind of ride or die on Lunar and Vortex. So hopefully Laxton will find themselves more involved like yesterday, where we saw Laxton actually be that driving force.
Yeah, we've got that solo play aspect, but when we saw them yesterday on stream, they're doing such a good job at looking for the infield pass plays, and that was really working for them. You look at the side of Global Elite, and look, we've talked about Shu, we've talked about Negative being those veteran players, but some first top 8 for him, and he has been looking really good. A player that I'm hoping doesn't come out with too many nerves, and hopefully you wouldn't. You have such veteran players, would know how to deal with those nerves, but Laxton, nerves aren't going to be an issue here in game 1.
Yeah, and it really, you know, some pretty premature on that pre-jump right there to try to get to the save was the one who wound up missing the intercept and put Negative in that tough spot. Laxton with space for a free touch is going to put the ball in that dangerous position every time. So really solid goal from 95X, capitalizing on the defensive misstep.
That's a good first blood there for 95X, doing a good job at just getting that on the board. Maybe a bit of a relief there, is now off the board. Wait a minute! Talking about what an angle off the backboard.
Okay, so was worried about some, and those nerves can kind of put those to rest with this touch right there. Oh, filthy from the Global Elite member, and just like that, we're tied.
I think Luna was even going for the pass back down, pre-jumping that instead, not even thinking the angle was possible. Such a good start here to this game. And now tie all, just half a game to go.
Yeah, there we go. And Negative already putting pressure right there. Shu, perfect positioning back just outside the box to keep things nice and snug. Historically, that's how you've beaten 95X, with those tight infield rotations. But if you get beat, well, they're just going to make pass plays look far too easy. Lunar to Vortex, 2-1 lead.
Yeah, great job to, you know, play a good third man there, cheat up a bit too much, but you've got to get back on defense, or counterattacks like that are going to lead to goals there for the other side. 95X do take the lead back very promptly. And now Global Elite, their turn to retaliate.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to bring it back and kind of continue this run. Negative clearing from the backfield will find Laxton, but the dunk already there. And you can see, once again, Global Elite trying to shorten the pitch, trying to get as tight as possible. Even their passes are on point. Shu a little bit off right there. I really like this offensive approach, though, coming from the orange side.
They're doing really good, and that's what worked for them yesterday, as we saw they were able to, hold on, wait a minute, Thumb going the distance with an air dribble. Does get saved on the goal line, but we did see Global Elite, the way that they did be able to win in the previous time on stream was they played fast. They were able to just get those passes and get up to it nice and early.
I'm sorry to start laughing in the middle of that, but I just caught some going for a pre-jump bump that was dodged by Lunar, not moving for a solid 3 to 4 seconds. Like, they're definitely eager on the Global Elite side.
Yeah, and that just shows the patience there from 95X. You know, sometimes the best way to dodge. Hold on a second. Negative coming out with a goal to tie.
There you go, some to negative, and I love this pass up to themselves. A little bit surprised no one from 95X was there to make that challenge. They kind of brought all three defenders back, yet none of them could make the save. Tie ball game, a minute 19 remaining. Global Elite, they are no slouches.
And that's what happens when you're rotating really wide, is you're not able to watch that midfield early enough. Good attempt there from some, almost a demo. But Luna now looking for the backboard read, won't be able to get it. Vortex to keep it in play.
The ball continues to bounce right back to the middle of the pitch. 95X, it's been a while since we've seen them on the orange side, and even then, a short-lived attack. I mean, the midfield controlled by Global Elite. The offensive pressure has been controlled by Global Elite. It's only been a couple counter-attacking goals that 95X has been able to find, and while historically this doesn't prove well for the team in blue, you have to wonder, can they find that one more shot? Laxton almost got it there.
When 95X start getting challenged early, that's when they start to feel a little bit more uncomfortable and can't quite adapt well. Laxton, though, getting Goomba stomped there by Luna. And now Vortex left last back.
Yeah, that said, not really too fast on flipping the map, so all members of 95X were able to reset themselves. Now going for the deep pass, swinging a miss from some. Laxton not expecting it, kind of was left in no man's land, gets bumped away. Good pass to negative. Shot goes wide, but the pressure does remain. Lunar has to keep it high to get it over negative and shoot.
Now last attempt here. Laxton keeping good possession. 3 seconds left. Beats out one defender. That's going to send them a little bit awkward. Shu having to make an air dribble into nowhere. Might just choose to drop this. He does, and we have game 1 OT.
Oh boy, this is definitely turning to be a closer matchup than what I'm sure people may have expected. Global Elite rising to the 95X challenge. However, Laxton off the kickoff may have been able to set up Vortex. Hesitation from the 95X member, though, sees the map flipped once again.
Luna getting a good clear over in the corner. Shoe up nice and early to get the intercept. Now, Vortex to try and beat out one. Good early challenge by Sum is going to send them straight back into their own corner.
Oh, had there been a second player committing, that could have been the game. Still might be negative. Looks for the reset, cannot find it. Shu keeping that pressure forward right now. And 95X has only been able to clear the ball when they've gone high with it. Whenever they stay low, Global Elite all over it in the middle of the field. Now Lunar late flip reset, doesn't quite get the touch.
And no one there to help clean it up now. Still getting that attack, waterfall touchdown, and will clear the net, so negative able to brush that aside. Good early challenge by Vort into the midfield. Luna opting to go for the fake. They still maintain ball possession though.
Yeah, and they're still putting the pressure on. Vort trying to find Lunar with the infield pass. They cannot connect, and now Laxton forced to slow it down, yet he somehow gets the speed. Had the reset potentially there until negative took it away. Laxton, so scary when given space and allowed to cook. For now though, still no one cracking this overtime yet.
Can sometimes be a bit readable though, just sending that one player up nice and early to stop Laxton's attempt. Has been successful in the past. Negative trying to go off the corner. Luna waiting patiently. Good early challenge by Some. Will cross the goal square here. Vortex though on the defensive end, able to get the stop. Bit of stagnancy here in the corner.
Yeah, and it will get broken up. Negative, that could have been a good pass. Some though was just not ready for it, so Laxton able to steal it away. Now, going high this time around, Global Elite actually can take it right over the top. Everyone from 95X forced to rotate back. Let's see if Elite can put on that same pressure. And once again, when 95X goes high, that's when they flip it. And what happened to the defense, did?
Laxton just goes coast to coast there, gets the flip, but a very lackluster finish. Maybe just miscommunication. Negative thinking Some has the ball, and I don't think that's how you want to end game 1, Formal.
Look, you know, it's 2 minutes into overtime. We're at lunch break, all right? You know, we just passed noon. Beep, beep, call it off. You know, leave early for tea, I suppose. Give them game 1. What just happened?
Just a breakdown of miscommunication. I'm not sure whether Some called that they had the clear or negative, just maybe thinking the teammate does. And just like that, a game 1 victory can be torn from your hands. 95X walk away just with that game 1 win.
Yeah, and you have to think moving forward, that's not a mistake Global Elite is going to make twice, right? Like that was a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, you'd hope that that's just you got to brush that over. You got to go next, and you got to say, all right, look, we made mistakes, but we know we can take it to this team. 95X, you know, we talked about them being that top 4 roster and going OT game 1. You've got to be a little bit nervous.
Yeah, that you do. But again, a Global Elite proving they are no slouches. And we were like seeing Sum's dynamic attack. That's not even to mention the 5 saves that they got leading the match, you know, on defense as well. Sum was all over the pitch and is looking like the catalyst for this Global Elite team. So keep your eyes on Sum. If Global Elite is going to take this to, you know, a game 3 in an equalized state, I feel like we're going to need to continue to see a strong performance from them. 95X, though, with that 1-game lead, they can be a team that starts to run away with it. They tend to win game 2, Tins. Like, they always seem to win games number 2.
Which wasn't the case, actually, back in the day for Luna. Back on that Aquadome was in the rotation. They could never... Formal, you know, you and me, but no better than anyone. They could not get the win. But, you know, we're now on the nice Forbidden Temple map. Maybe this is the difference. And now Global Elite, you're right. I do really like the implementation of Sum. I think Sum's playstyle does work really well with Shu and Negative. And we'll see if they can help connect a little bit better here in game 2.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be able to. I mean, again, Sum's defense being challenged. Never want to go one-on-one with Laxton in those situations, yet the young player does, you know, hold down the fort, now being forced to kind of do it again. Nowhere safe to put the ball. Vortex steals it away. Lunar is there. Can't get it past Sum. What a save.
That is dangerous from Sum. Gave the ball away, but was just able to get back in time for the 50. This isn't going to stop the attack from 95X. Shu, great defense, gets the 50, but they're always finding that player in midfield that's up so early. 0 boost, bit of a kerfuffle going on there in the corner.
Yeah, that there is, but one thing that I'm really liking from 95X with these midfield touches, they're always slowing the ball down so the other members can go back and get the boost and keep this attack going. They're not really trying to accelerate the pace. They're focusing more on resource control and just like controlling the placement and the tempo of the game in that regard, which is really promising to see. So even though we haven't seen any shots, we haven't seen any real opportunities until now, I suppose, for the map to get flipped. But even then, 95X able to take it right back.
And a really good read there from Sum to stop that interception, almost turn it into an attack. A double commit, looking awkward here. Great shot there from Laxton, but just crossbar and out.
Yeah, usually that one does go in. A little bit frustrating for the 95X side, but the attack will continue as Lunar has a chance to look for Laxton now underneath. Do they connect? No. Shu steals it away.
I'll turn it into a counter-attack. Oh! Vortex isn't able to get the read. Shu does, though, and secures the first goal here in game 2.
And this is what happens when that tempo can suddenly increase. 95X so reliant on slowing it down at the middle of the pitch. The second it gets popped up and over, the opening was there. Shu so decisive on that. 1-0 lead, Global Elite.
Just saw Vortex. I think Ghost touched the corner of the goal there and just got stomped by the sidebar. Wasn't able to make that save.
Negative?
And Negative looking for the flick.
That was spooky. Almost got the 3v1. Still pressure coming from the Global Elite side. We haven't seen them as dominant on the attack. They've been having to play a lot more defense this time around, but I mean, 1-0 lead throughout the first half of this game. You can argue it's working for them.
Definitely got the lead, and that's going to be good to just get that lead over 95X to start the game. But a great dunk there from Laxton. Negative will have plenty of time. No one challenging everyone from 95X, trying to make a barrier at midfield.
Yeah, they were trying to build that defensive wall, like I guess, kind of more offensive wall in that regards. Either way, neither side realistically being cracked. So many of this game has been played on that orange side of the pitch. The scoreline, you wouldn't really reflect how it's been going, but 95X unable to put it through. This is going to be a good chance. Lunar does try to beat Shu, who somehow makes the save in the 2v1.
But we did talk about this being the playstyle that Negative seems to like, is they're happy to stay on defense, they're happy to get those clean rotations, and they wait for their moment to break out into a counterattack. It worked for them well previously up against Sin City, I believe. So now it will be very interesting to see if, you know, that playstyle does translate here against 95X.
Yeah, it's been working, been holding on. All they need is another minute and a half, and this one could be theirs. Granted, 95X, they are one of those explosive teams, can score off of any touch, and maybe this could be the one now. Nope. Negative takes it away. Deep counter forces Lunar all the way back, and Laxton with that demo, I think, just saved Global Elite from setting up shop on that blue side.
And what a pre-jump there from Sum to just know exactly what they're trying to do. The pass play cut off. Early shot on target there for Luna, met by Negative. And right now, we're talking about walls in offense. Right now, Global Elite have a wall going on the defensive line.
Yeah, they have just played this second game so well, and now a chance to put it away. Luna underneath too. Sorry, Negative. Luna was there for the defense. Either way, it's a 2-0 game.
And Negative's just, sorry, Luna is just stagnant in net there, not wanting to break out too early. And that's what led Negative to be able to place that around the defense. 95X giving too much space here.
Gave too much space when it was all said and done. And after such a controlling game, to be in this position 4 minutes in without a goal to their name, it's a little bit of a shocker for 95X. This is going to be a frustrating game for them. Global Elite played this one so well. They just need to hold on for another 40 seconds without a meltdown, and they're going to get a third, some through the corner. This is going to be a tight series, Tim.
Yeah, this is the moment where you can start talking about what you need to change and what you need to do, and just kind of let the rest of this game play out. Don't think too much of it and start looking towards game 3, because Global Elite have come out strong. They've stuck to their gameplay and they've really countered 95X.
They're looking like a complete team right now, which is actually super cool to see from, you know, one of these new lineups, some with a chance to find another, not quite going to get it, but we've seen the lights out defense. We've seen sort of that same lights out offense.
Wait a minute.
Ooh, sometimes their pace could be where they get beat, but like right now they are looking, I would say, the stronger of the two sides. Nearly another goal right there from Negative.
And Yummy got to talk to Negative, and Negative was talking about how top 8 is that minimal goal that Global Elite are going for, and then once they get to that stage, they're taking it game by game. Negative likes to think methodically in how to counter their next opponent, and it seems like here in game 2 they have figured that out. Negative leading the charge, and right now we have a best of 5 and it is tied 1-1.
So what's crazy about that game, I'm pretty sure until there was 2 minutes left, Global Elite only had 2 shots. They finished with 8. Like that, the second half of that game, they really turned on the attack and they were able to put on their own shooting pressure as well. So the fact that they were able to survive 3 minutes of nonstop 95X attack, hold them to a shutout, and then bring that late flurry in the end to sort of secure the game, that's why I'm saying they've looked complete. We saw strong offense, we saw strong defense. Some and Shu have shown off some of their mechanical abilities already throughout the series. Global Elite, they are on form right now, and 95X, like if they want to continue their top 4 runs, we need to see them kind of rise to the mechanical levels almost a Global Elite.
Yeah, it really seemed like they let Global Elite dictate the pace of that game. They were giving too much space to them. They were not nearly respecting them in a way. So they've got to come out, give them the respect they've now earned in this game number 2. Right now, yeah, you're right. Everything is on 95X. Can they make those adaptations?
Yeah, so big pressure for the favorites in this match. We'll see if it kind of comes into fruition for them as we load ourselves right back on the pitch. Guaranteed a game 4 in this one, although we're talking about how game 2s recently have gone 95X's way. I would argue game 3s have kind of gone against them, but this series already breaking the mold a little bit in that regards. We'll see how this kickoff looks. Lunar with a chance, can't get it past some.
And this just seems the second man on the pitch is just not playing close enough, playing too far back, or sometimes too far up. So they really just need to get the spacing of the rotations down pat. Luna couldn't quite get the flip reset in time. We'll have to just give that away.
Yeah, uncharacteristic mistake. You normally expect Lunar to hit those resets.
Now, trying to get something else going here. Negative now looking to break that out into a counter attack. They're using the 50-50 as a great method to get upfield. Been working for them so far. A double commit on the end is going to leave Vortex back for a little bit.
Oh, and there's the pass back. Negative. That's going to be the goal.
Oh, perfectly played there from the side of Shu. Just the perfect touch needed. And Negative puts that away just past Luna. Yet again, these double commits, they're leaving Vortex back as the last man and putting Vortex in so many 1v2 situations.
Yeah, you can't get too harsh on Vortex for that. It was just sort of a risk without the reward. And I'm starting to wonder if that kind of double commit is when 95X is starting to get desperate, trying to make these plays happen, because it feels like if they are the cooler, calmer team, they should be okay. Pound for pound mechanically, you would expect 95X to be the stronger side, but I don't know. Just little mistakes like that, allowing Global Elite to play their style game at the same token, it's really not doing them any favors, as Vortex now has a chance for their own double, throws it back down to Lunar. Shu already there.
That's such awkward positioning from Luna there, playing way too far mid, not getting the read properly, and just wasn't able to really make an impact there, pushing upfield. Luna does get a good read to try and keep it into the corner, gets a good 50 high in the goal square. No one, though, up from it from 95X.
as the ball does get pushed past that midfield line. Here comes Laxton. Only has really 2 defenders to beat. Gets past one off the backboard for the second, yet some able to recover and read Vortex's shot. This defense from some has been insane.
Some is just reading exactly what 95X are trying to do, never going for the beat, just going for the 50, and is doing such a good job at winning them that it's causing 95X to just run rampant on their side of the field, and they're just looking very out of place.
And I feel like 95X is almost like too nervous to really commit to a bump or demo game, because every time they send 2 players forward, Global Elite is able to flip the map so easily and, again, force, Vortex in those situations. But at that same token, they need to find something to get the defense from Global Elite off balance as well. It's like a struggle if you do, struggle if you don't. They just cannot solve this Global Elite puzzle.
As hard as it is, they need to stop looking at the mech solo plays. They need to start maybe getting a bit more fundamental, looking for pass plays, spacing out just a little bit better, and really look to play as a team. Good past midfield. Luna has to play it high, and a touch will leave it in the midfield. Negative with a strong beat.
Oh,
that's
no.
the commit from third man, and they are playing perfectly here from Global Elite.
Just absorbing all that pressure and throwing it right back. Negative is that intelligent player, and yeah, as soon as the gap was there, so too was Negative. 2-0 lead, Global Elite. We've gone 7 minutes. I'm sorry, 8 minutes. My math's not on point, but 8 minutes without a goal from 95X. That is so unusual. Vortex can't get it off the kickoff.
You've got 95X here trying to play with finesse, trying to play by outpacing and out-meching the other team. And you've got Global Elite who are just playing with pace. They're just outpacing everything that 95X are doing. And it is nearly the perfect counter here for the side. A touch. Laxton might be able to get the raid. Drops it down, but Shu with the clear.
How patient do you have to be with a player like Laxton looking for the double, but trusting the backboard read? Shu, really, really smart. And yeah, Lunars and Laxton stifled again.
Negative now just buying time, keeping the ball close to 50 out in the midfield. Laxton does win it, but no one is there to clean it up. Vortex does get in time, plays this one high. Side to side, 95X are going, not able to get anything too threatening on net. And a great 50 in midfield from Negative.
Yeah, it was good, but the follow-up, not quite there. 95X still in control, though. Lunar with a little bit of a swing and a miss, opens the door for some, tries to put it up high, does find Shu. That will be a shot. Lunar diving safe, but now, final minutes, that's when Global Elite turns their attacking pressure on, even with the 2-0 lead. They do eventually back away. Shu was sitting stagnant in goal, makes the touch. 45 seconds, 95X. It's desperation time.
And that is such a good counterattack, but Shu just knows, as third man, knows there's no need to overcommit. They're 2 goals up and is just waiting. Playing as a goalie in RLCS, you love to see it. Great veterancy coming out from these teams.
Yeah, it has been, more of a chess game, I feel, at times than a Rocket League game, this one. But Global Elite consistently 1 move ahead on that defensive side has put them in a 2-1 position. You would have to think 15 seconds left, potentially a second shutout in a row right now. This team, Negative and co, on the cusp of, kind of like Merge, cracking out of that top 8.
A chess match indeed, and it looks like 95X are getting put into checkmate. They're running out of moves to try and keep this alive, and they are just moving their king right now from side to side, avoiding just the almost inevitability of the way the Global Elites are playing. They're gonna have to make some last-minute changes to just try and keep this into a game 5.
I mean, an argument can be made that that was stronger than the last game, just based on the fact that they did limit Global Elite's chances. We didn't see the flurry of attack at the end of game 3 like we saw in game 2. In fact, only 3 shots taken by the Global Elite side, but they were on those counterattacks. They were fast, they were decisive, and it came from 95X double commits, which are mistakes you cannot afford to be making at this level. So back against the wall for 95X. They've been in this position before, though, Tins. They have risen up and above, and we know this team has the skills to do it. It's just if they can find it within themselves, I suppose.
It's hard to believe because you're just looking at this game like Negative talks about learning to counter a team, and it seems like that's what they've done. Their playstyle is countering this team perfectly, and they're not going to be able to just use those solo plays to get a shot on target. They might have to start getting physical. They might have to start looking at other avenues to try and get this game under wraps and force the game 5, because Global Elite, they just have their number right now.
But every time they've tried to get physical, that's where we've seen the counterattack. It's as soon as they commit that second member, that's when Global Elite has been waiting for to strike. So I want to go back to your previous point. I think it's the passing plays. I think they need to find ways to lure Global Elite out of that net, off of that backboard, more towards the middle of the pitch for some of those challenges, because otherwise, Global Elite, they're way too comfortable playing backboard, playing post defense at this stage.
But as we saw, there were a few attempts where maybe the passes weren't as fundamental and they were a bit more flashy, but Sum is reading them perfectly. They're cutting into mid, they're cutting off those passing lanes. So we do maybe need to see, like we saw with Merge, always going for the difficult read. We need to start getting a bit more fundamental in the play styles here for 95X.
You know where 95X looked the most dangerous? Was when they were finding their own counterattacks. Maybe you just concede the front half of the pitch and just be like, you know what? Your turn to attack against us now. We'll play defense. We'll play your style. I think that almost might have to be an option at this stage.
Yeah, fight fire with fire. There'll be a stagnancy in midfield. No one will opt to go for the ball. Both teams wanting to play as passive as possible. And hey, that might help with them stopping these overcommits, these double commits that we've seen so many times. So might definitely be an option that they can go for.
We'll see if it does play out in that facet as it stands. You know, this is live here in game number 4 and a chance for Global Elite to put it away. Negative. Can't really play the middle of the field. This looks good. Laxton with a chance, and finally the scoreless streak is broken.
We talked about the counterattacks, and that's what we wanted to see. Great touch there and great cheat upfield from Laxton. Had to place it perfectly and does just that. Great play there from 95X as they now look for the kickoff, trying to get something going here. 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes left, and 95X already have a great lead. That's what you want to see here. There's now Vortex looking off the corner, trying to get a pass. There's the demo that we wanted to see. Negative with a miss, but no, everyone had faith in the clear.
Yeah, the ultimate fake. Everyone faked out, all 6 members, because I don't even think Negative was expecting to miss that one. A little bit awkward, but no immediate punish. It does feel like Global Elite gets away with one.
Negative now, trying to find the infield pass. But there we go. The demo's on the rotate back. I think that's what we want to see, and that's going to buy 95X a bit more space in the midfield.
Shu is so dangerous in those situations. Saw them going for the fake right there as well, and it's kind of why you can't afford to give... At this stage, I think either of these teams that space, I mean, Shu and Sum in particular on that Global Elite side, super fun to watch, although, could see something from 95X right here. Negative had nowhere safe to go with the ball. Vortex will go up with it, has Lunar and Laxton underneath. Tried to go solo instead, and yet somehow Global Elite was still faster to the play.
And that's what we talked about, the readability of 95X. Global Elite know what they're trying to achieve. They're very predictable with their mechanics that they're going for. Global Elite are doing such a good job at just counteracting.
Awkward pass from Sum, a little bit too far in front of Negative, so not able to corral it. Immediately forced to rotate back, but not fast enough. Laxton capitalizing 2-0 lead.
We know Negative and Shu like to play a bit deep on the rotate, but maybe Sum having to take a page out of their book, not able to get there in time, rotating through that corner boost. Complete turnaround here for 95X.
I said it at the start of the game, maybe in a semi-joking manner, but look at both the 95X's goals. They were off counters. They were going the distance of the pitch. If you can't beat Global Elite in front of their net, you have to draw them out in different ways, and forcing them on the attacking side, playing for the counter. That's looking good right now.
See if they can continue, or maybe even Global Elite's turn to now try and figure out a way to break this newly formed play style here for 95X, as Vortex is in the corner looking to get a good 50. We'll outpace everyone. If Luna can get here first, it will be an open net, but a tough angle, and Negative gets there just in the nick of time.
Yeah, Negative had to stream for that one, but collected boost in the process, so was up to challenge for Laxton. However, this time, no one from Global Elite there to push in. Oh my gosh, 95X! They bump into each other. The net was open for a solid 2 or 3 seconds, yet no one from Global Elite there to find the punish.
They had it, and then Luna rotating back, bumps the perfect pass play. Shot opportunity there. Luna does get away with it and does get the clear. 95X just have to reset after that.
Yeah, I mean, they do, but they're looking shaky, Tids. I mean, these touches aren't convincing on the defensive half right now. Granted, they could be playing possum a bit because Global Elite are throwing themselves forward right now, and it has been the game of counterattacks. It feels. Here comes Negative. Doesn't quite get that bump.
Touch downfield, Shu with a good intercept. Couldn't quite get the follow-up there from Some, and now Shoes left last back, has to make the save, passes it right out to Vortex with a good beat. Luna's up nice and quick. That is the trust we wanted to see in 95X, and they are dominating here. They're looking to force a game 5.
I love that touch from Vortex right there, popping it up perfectly for Luna to follow it through. Good plays from 95X. And you know what I really liked about that, Tins? It wasn't a counterattacking goal. They actually got the fast play. They established themselves, hit the 1-2-3. This is the 95X we're used to seeing. This is the 95X that can make top 4s. Good save by Lunar to shut down any chance for a comeback from Global Elite.
Seems like they've just cracked the defense there for Global Elite, and now those other avenues are starting to open up. They're forcing Global Elite back into their own half, thinking counterattacks are now a possibility, and that's when they're able to get space in the midfield, look for these passes, and start to get something going. A great attempt there. For those who know Negative, you know that air dribble bump is the key aspect in that arsenal, but not able to get it away there.
Yeah, but I think they'll be going for it again before this series is done and dusted. Champions Field looking like an inevitability right now. Shu, though, still trying to get a little bit of fire. Is able to get it back to Some. Vortex makes the relatively easy read, and with that bump on Negative, will slow down the attack, not stop it, at least until Lunar is able to clear it back the other way.
Great read there by Laxton to stop that one, and now into the midfield. Some keeping this one nice and close. Shu taking over, has to make a difficult read, but great defensive play there from 95X. They are holding Global Elite scoreless, and that's gotta feel good after the previous 2 games.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It has to be feeling more and more confidence for them, and a shutout back the other way. Again, it feels like whichever team has had more attacking pressure has been the team that's been falling short so far in this series. 7 seconds remaining. Vortex has a chance. Oh, I'll put a little bit of a cherry on top on this one. Either way, the end result's going to be the same. 95X take game 4, and Tins, we're going to Champions Field.
2 series in a row, and we were talking, I think earlier, even in the previous split, about, you know, do we have a top 3? It's really iffy to break into top 8. There's a few teams who can make that run, but we've had 2 top 8 games go to game 5. They are equally matched, and seems like the region as a whole is nearly even stepping up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very optimistic way to look at it, and I appreciate it. I do appreciate it, especially
Looking at
when
the
you look at
positives.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when you look at the way how Global Elite was able to find their wins, you know, when they're showing, you know, a complete game, strong offense and defense. 95X in this one, kind of able to do the same. We haven't really seen these 2 teams go back and forth. Every game has kind of felt one-sided thus far, individually. So as we go to game 5, I'm really curious to see if Global Elite can adjust again and shut down the counters from 95X. I feel like this last game is going to be a strange one. I feel like both teams are going to be playing very reserved in this 5th match.
You're right. I don't think this game 5 has even a possibility to be a close game in OT. I think you're right. We'll find pretty quickly what team is going to step up. You know, can Global Elite change their play style to how we've seen 95X play there, or will it just be the same, you know, run-of-the-mill game for 95X that we just saw? I'm with you. Like, I would look, game 5 OTs, we love to see, and we love the, you know, the pressure, the hype built up in game 5. We'll have to wait and see what game 5 holds for us here.
If I make a prediction on this one, Tins, if we do get an OT, it's going to be 0-0.
You know what? That's actually probably a very valid take. I think this game will either be another 3-goal game for one team, 3-0,
yeah.
Or we will see 0-0. So both teams maybe even a bit nervous, a bit tentative to really go for the ball. I
don't think it's nerves. I just think it's where both the teams have been finding their success. Like, both teams in their winning matchups have been when they've been playing more defensively and playing further back and giving that wider breadth, which is surprising against 95X, because, I mean, Laxton can do things like that and just make every touch threatening. You don't typically want to give them space, but with how well Global Elite has been able to read them, Lunar, again, crazy mech, but just not enough.
It seems like people on 95X get caught ball watching. Whenever you see Laxton go up, no one knows how many touches that he's going to get. And then, you know, third player, second player starts creeping up a little bit too much, wondering when to go. And that's when we find them not able to maintain their pressure. Corner read coming out from Vortex, just couldn't make contact.
Yeah, and it's strange because even though 95X is the team on the attack right now, I'm still just waiting for Global Elite to find the counter. That's been the tempo of this game. Granted, Lunar has a chance here. Doesn't stay with it some. Unable to get that spike, and something that Global Elite isn't doing that they did in the previous games was go high with the ball. Instead, they stay low. Laxton punishes 1-0 lead.
Luna has just perfectly come into this one, reads it, Laxton the late flip reset, and pinched it straight into a falling Laxton. 95X, you take them as they come, and they get the first goal.
Yeah, that was chaotic, to put it mildly. But hey, 95X, they're not going to complain. They'll take that goal, and they're going to continue to put the pressure on this kickoff.
Well, you want the lead here for 95X because Global Elite, when they have the lead, that's when they start playing at their most comfortable. They will play so passive as third and really make 95X work for it or have to switch up their play style to get the lead. So Global Elite, now we have to see how they can play from behind.
And in a game 5 where, you know, you're already down and instinct is telling you go for it, instinct is telling you make that play, but they've had most of their success playing passive. How do you keep that mental to stay passive with only 3 minutes to find that goal? This is what we were talking about before. It could so easily start to sway in 95X's favor unless Global Elite can keep the calm, stick to the game plan, trust in it, and find their opportunities.
Well, you can't switch up your play style just yet. You've found success with this play of playing this passive, waiting for these counterattacks. You still have plenty of time. Over 2.5 minutes is plenty of time. It's not until you start getting to that less than 1 minute mark, 45 seconds, that you might need to start saying, all right, this passive play isn't working. We need to get aggressive. We need to start, you know, forcing 95X on the defensive end.
Well, Shu may have just forced a little bit of something right there with that clear. Laxton, though, able to go high with it. Challenge from negative, too slow, but it does make an easier read for some now, who only has to beat Vortex. Barely able to dive back for the save. Well done by the defender out at 95X.
Yeah, great read from Vortex there, and I really like that sign from Global Elite there, getting that demo, trying to force that open net. Maybe something they look to do more here as the time is winding down. Luna, no boost to work with, does get that final touch, but it will be beat out by the defense.
Now Vortex is going to have sort of a 1v3 go at it. The rest of 95X was looking to rotate back. Laxton actually did stay somewhat forward and kept a semblance of offensive pressure, but now all 3 members of Global Elite are starting to attack, and 100 seconds remaining, Tins. Now we're going to start to see the risk-taking, I think, come from this orange side.
Will have to be soon. Some trying to get a read. Luna will play it down. Negative, great catch. Playing this close, a little bit too close for comfort, though, and will manage to get the killer. Laxton up nice and early off the ceiling, trying to beat out Some. Great touch. Some has been able to read the mechanical plays from Laxton perfectly this series.
Yeah, but they haven't been able to get the counterattacks. They can make the save, but they can't follow it up. And now here comes that pressure. Negative puts it up for grabs. Lunar steals the deal. 2-0 lead in favor of 95X.
When you spend all your time on defense, it will crack eventually. Laxton just being a pest, going for bumps, and that double commit couldn't quite get the touch, forces it down. Luna walks away with a goal. They have that safety net available here in game 5. Global Elite, all eyes on them.
Yeah, and it was great to see from 95X as well. They haven't been, you know, relying on the counterattack. It's been the pressure. It's been forcing the awkward defensive touches and making sure they've been able to keep things sustained. Again, this is the 95X we were expecting to see game 1. It took them 5 games to find this form, but now that we're here, it's looking like it's going to be enough to take Global Elite out. Another goal would seal the deal. Lunar plays it patient instead, and maybe Global Elite find a counter.
95X are doing such a good job at their second man. They know that they're just wanting to give away the ball, get these small touches on defense, and they're able to stay in a perfect position to get the follow-up. Global Elite, they need to try and find an outlet or something. Negative trying to get it clear over to the corner. No one there. Shu can't quite get the touch. And Some now left to make a last-minute ditch offense here. Pass in mid, can't quite find contact.
Yeah, it was hesitation, it felt like, didn't it? Like they weren't going straight for the ball. They wanted to try to corral it, go for something messy, but it allows 95X to recover. And with 10 seconds remaining, time ill afford to be given. You need the goal here, Negative, but you're not going to find it. Vortex catches, Vortex dribbles, and time will tick down. 95X survive Global Elite and advance to the top 6.
They find themselves so close to where they've been time and time again. Great game there from Global Elite as the first time we've seen the appearance from this team, and I gotta say, looking really good for their future. 95X, great adaptations mid-game there to be able to bring that one back. And you know, we talked about whether it would be a 0-all OT or one team would take it away, and that was 95X.
Yeah, they took it away. Crazy 4 shutouts in that series, right? You know, we saw the 2 from Global Elite followed by the 2 right back from 95X. It really was you know, a series where which other team took that control of it was just able to hold on until the end. A very fascinating series. And if you're walking away from that, you know, as a fan of 95X, not sure how confident you're feeling, you know, knowing that you're going to be up against either Power or Pioneers. That's going to be a challenge in the future for certain, but they're winning the games they're supposed to win right now, Tins.
I just gotta say something real quick. I was talking to Looney yesterday and I was asking, you know, which side of the bracket you'd rather be on, and he wanted Power. He actually wanted the Power rematch. I was saying, I'm like, well, you can go if you're on the other side of the bracket. You know, you would have, you know, merge. Oh, sorry, you'd have probably Him Police or Ground Zero, depending on where they go. And they said, no, they want Power. They want that rematch yet again. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the upper bracket for their opponent.
Yeah, we will have to see. But for now, I believe we're going to be thrown into a break. When we come back, we are going to be going to that upper bracket. That's going to be some exciting stuff. So best of sevens, they kick off when we return.